All right, we're going to break away from this very emotional news conference held by the family of Alton Sterling, a man who was shot and killed by police in front of a convenience store under somewhat suspect circumstances. I want to bring in Tom Fuentes, our senior. Tom Fuentes, our senior law enforcement analyst. There you are. Welcome back, Tom. This family is very emotional about this. They don't trust police. The NAACP, the president of the Baton Rouge division, came out and said that he wants the police chief to resign. How do police handle this when emotions are so high?
Well, first of all, Carol, my heart goes out to the family. It's not their fault. They're victims in this. They have to live with this the rest of their life, whether their family member did well or did wrong or whatever happened. He has died, and that's a tragedy for them no matter what. As far as the police go, I'm a little confused at the way the police department's handling this. First of all, to not make any public statement. No, they can't say what the results of their investigation is because it's too soon for that, but they can say what they're doing, what the process is, try to allay the community's worry that it's going to be swept under the rug or not properly investigated. That's number one. And number two, most police departments now in this country, the protocol for an officer-involved shooting is that another agency does the investigation. So the fact that they're saying that Louisiana State Police are not investigating, I don't understand that. If the FBI ultimately is called in to do a civil rights investigation, that's not something the police department can refuse if that's what the decision is. But I don't understand at this point why they're not wanting an independent investigation to explain what happened, at least as much as they know, or what they're doing about the different facts that they don't know.
And Tom, for those viewers just joining us, I want to show this disturbing video one more time because I think it's important people know what exactly we're talking about. So let me set the scene before you roll that video. So Mr. Sterling, Alton Sterling, was selling CDs in front of a convenience store. Police approached him for some reason we do not know, and they ordered him to the ground. And you see a police officer here tackling Mr. Sterling. They get him to the ground. One of the police officers shouts, we think it's a police officer who shouted, "He's got a gun." And then you see the police officer in your direct vision take out his own service revolver or 9mm gun. That's what police officers use. And if we roll the video further, you would see him shoot Mr. Sterling in the chest. And also, we don't know. There were bullet wounds to the back, but like you said, Tom, they could be exit wounds. We just don't know. Now, the family was asked if Mr. Sterling had a gun. His lawyer came out and said, and I quote, "I don't know the answer to that, but it's irrelevant. The video speaks for itself." Is it irrelevant?
No, that would not be irrelevant. Whether he's supposed to have a gun or allowed to have a gun may not mean a thing if he actually, in fact, has a gun. And because a part of that video is behind the parked car, we don't see his hands. We don't see whether he was reaching under his sweatshirt and possibly pulling out a gun or not. We just don't see that. So we can't say definitively he did or didn't pull out a gun or wasn't trying to pull out a gun. We don't know. If I could add another thing just on police technique when they talk about training, having, as a police officer, been confronted with many subjects who just aren't going to cooperate and be arrested, at the point, these police officers should have been calling for a backup and had multiple officers. Given the size of Alton Sterling, they should not have been trying to do a football-type tackle all by themselves and get into a wrestling match with them that they might not even be able to win. And that's the other part of this, that they put themselves in a position that even if they were beginning to lose the battle with him, there shouldn't have been a battle with just two police officers.
So what should happen now? You said the police chief at the very least should come out and make a statement on camera. There's also the question of these body cameras falling off the police officers. Those body cameras were supposed to prevent actions like this, and they fell off during the scuffle.
Well, that's what we're told. They fell off during the scuffle. But if that's true, then they should have clear video of what happened to and what was said with the two officers and Sterling. They should have that before the tackle, before the wrestling match. So the videos should be crystal clear. The audio should be clear as to what happened. If that's the case, that those cameras came off and they have hard drives in them. So merely falling off and falling to the street should not damage the video itself that's contained in the memory. And the next question, the cameras should still be operating, even if they're pointing at the sky or at the ground. You would think that they're still recording the audio for the entire duration of this incident. But I think the first step of this is that the chief of police needs to get in front of a microphone, get in front of the people of that town and say, we know this incident happened. This is what we're doing. We know that it should be investigated by an outside agency. We've asked the Louisiana State Police to take over this part of the investigation. We'll provide them with all of the videos and security camera coverage. The store itself would have coverage of the parking lot, probably, that all video be provided to the investigators, all statements, all interviews be conducted by the state police, and take the local police department out of this.
All right, Tom Fuentes, I have to leave it there, but emotions are very high in Baton Rouge this morning. Some are calling for an economic boycott. The NAACP is calling for the police chief to resign. And you saw the emotional plea from the mother of Alton Sterling's son, saying that she will not let his death go by without justice being served. And you also saw his 15-year-old son break down, and he was just outright sobbing. We'll have much more on this in the hours to come in the newsroom and on CNN.